Hey, it's me. Now the TikTok's back, coming back at you with another car review. For those who follow me know that every time I go see a new movie, which is often because I love the movies, I come out and while I'm processing the film and my thoughts, I think I'll just process with all of you and see if you feel the same way, you feel differently. So today I went to see The Last Showgirl, and sorry, it's like negative 12 degrees here. My mouth is cold and my lips are significantly large, so please bear with the jibber jabber coming out of my mouth. What I would say about The Last Showgirl, first of all, what's not to love about a Coppola directed film? That family, wow, one of the most talented families in the universe, like top to bottom, right? That being said, the one kind of complaint I would have about the film, on top of 1,000 praises of the film, I get kind of the artistic vision of the faded background, soft shot, 16 millimeter handheld stuff. But sometimes it's just kind of jarring when it like takes one of the actors who's in the scene, and I know it's supposed to draw our focus towards like Pam Anderson's kind of optimism, if I'm getting it right. But sometimes the people who are in the filmy tableau are faded in as well, and it just kind of took my perspective away. Also, you know, just as a kind of a thing of what took my faded it away, our Regal app today had the wrong show times listed, so I got in early thinking the show was starting, and it was another 35 minutes, and then because it was a half hour off, Moana 2 was supposed to start. And so the last bit of, you know, I was hooked into the film, and the last bit, like the last 10 minutes of the film, people started coming in for Moana 2, and I started worrying a little bit, like, oh, what kind of young kids are going to start walking into this last sequence? So it was just people coming in and out, being on their phones because they thought they were in previews, and so I got taken out of the end a little bit, so I'm going to need to see the end again. The theater managed to clear out in the last little bit, but I'm not going to spoil the end. But the praises, so many. I love this cast. Dave Bautista, Kiernan Shipka. I am here for everything. Like, all 5 movies you've done this year have been so different and so unique, and the characters you put into it and the love of your characters, the back and forth emotion from this movie to even like something actiony like Red One. You melt into those characters. So, like I said, Dave Bautista, Jason Schwartzman when he shows up, Jamie Lee Curtis. My whole life, you are a treasure, and taking risks, and this character as a risk, and Everything All at Once is a risk, and all the way back to, you know, Fish Called Wanda. You've always put yourself into everything and never been afraid to do anything. And this role, even though I kept thinking of Magda from Something About Mary, the scene in the casino with Total Eclipse of the Heart, wow, Best Supporting Actress nomination for that. And of course, Billy Lord, kind of a disillusioned look at the showgirl mother, which I don't want to reference, but it reminds me so much of, you know, kind of the referential Carrie Fisher writing of Meryl Streep and and Shirley MacLaine, and how that obviously related to Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds when you look at Postcards from the Edge. Just this kind of, my mom is in this disillusionment of happiness and optimism when everything is crashing down around us, and powerful. And Pamela Anderson, you were born to play this. Show-stopping, wonderful. The hope that you put into this role, the dream that you put into this role, the highs and lows, but trying to keep that smile, trying to keep that showgirl optimism. And I think it makes such a great metaphor for the rest of us in Generation X as we're aging up. And I think at its heart, maybe that's what this movie is about. I think that's what I'm processing for me. Is I've been a teacher for 25 years, and thinking about getting towards 50, and my teachers had retired at this age. My grandpa made it, I think, to 32 years, and thinking about those same thoughts that she has throughout the movie. Like, I love what I do, and I've always loved what I do, but hasn't made a difference, hasn't made an impact. We did what we were told to do. We followed our dreams and we did them, and then to find out now that we're aging, did it mean anything? And what's the next step? And how do I get to the next step? And is it too late to get to the next step? And how do I make that transition? And she has all that in her character. The pain, the wanting to cling on desperately for that last thing. And you did such a great job in this. And again, the movie for me just represents maybe kind of the newest wave of film, which is us as Gen X aging and coming to grips with, you know, when we were young, we had movies about high schoolers and Breakfast Club and the optimism of our future, and we were taking over from the baby boomers, and now we're the baby boomers, and this young generation demands from us authenticity, not realizing that we're doing what we know how to do, and we're being as authentic as we can, and we did the best we can. But they question us, they question what we did, they question our parenting, we're doing what we know, and we thought we did a good job. And this whole movie kind of plays that out. And then you look at the whole kind of metaphor of Vegas itself being bulldozed around us, around her, where it's not the Vegas we knew anymore. You know, the Tropicana goes down to build new things. All these ring-a-ding-ding Sinatra, Elvis Vegas that we grew up with is just kind of, you can smell the carpet at the Rio. I think about my grandma gambling all the time at the Four Queens and the Fremont, and think about Swingers, where maybe that was the last gasp of the old Vegas, like when they say you gotta have a lot of guts to film at a casino, and you know, that last piece of the old Vegas before it was imploded into the Strip. And maybe that's a metaphor too. So there's just a whole lot I'm thinking about in this film, that it's just, I'll think about it more, but there's just so much wrapped into this that's so deeper of an idea of time passing through the eyes of a showgirl. And you think about like the movie Showgirls and the optimism of that time. And I know people are like, oh, the movie Showgirl, don't make the comparison. But if you think about it, just how important Elizabeth Berkley's Know Me was to the entertainment of what was happening in the Strip. And now we've moved past all that, and all that is being imploded. And that happiness, that joy of the showgirl moving into circuses, and have we lost our time? Wow. Go see this movie. See if you have the same thoughts. Great job, cast. Great job, great job, great job.